lob has to be the most underrated shot in tennis. In fact, I'd like to say that I call it the point saver. Because many times when I was playing tennis and my opponent had me way back by the fence, I'd throw up this nice high lob and get back into the point fight. Let's go to a man who really understands the lob from all aspects, Marty Riessen.
I like to think of the lob as the stroke that we all started out with at about age 6, when we played it about 95% of the time, just to keep the ball in the tennis court. It's that high looping shot that just stays maybe 20 feet over the net. But then as we get a little bit older, we stop using the lob. And by the time you're in your 20s, 30s, it really gets to be a shot that you don't use enough. And I want to talk about the lob because I think it's a shot that you should use more. The thing to remember about the lob is that the grip is exactly the same as you would use for your ground stroke. If you were going to hit a forehand ground stroke, you would use the same grip for the forehand lob. And the reason for this is disguise, because when you come into the stroke, you want to make it look like it's a regular ground stroke and then go into the lob. The lob starts out just like a ground stroke. You see the ball coming, you use the same grip as a ground stroke, your knees bent as you step forward, and as you bring the racket through, instead of meeting the ball with the racket head perpendicular to the ground, the racket face becomes tilted back so you give lift to the ball, thus making it a lob. Your follow-through will be a little higher than a ground stroke, but it is a complete follow-through. The same is true of the backhand lob. Same backswing, and then the follow-through is up and out. So remember, the lob is a complete stroke. There's a backswing, and when you step in to make contact, the racket face is tilted, and the follow-through is up and out. Let's talk about the defensive lob. This shot is the one that's going to get you out of trouble if you're in trouble. It'll give you time to retrench if you're way out of court. And most of all, it could break up the rhythm of your opponent. The situation for the defensive lob occurs when you're caught behind the baseline and you really can't make a good passing shot. So now you have to toss a real high ball up, maybe 20 to 30 feet up in the air, and try and get as much depth as possible into the back of the court, near your opponent's baseline. And this shot can be played either down the line or cross court. You have a little more room in the court. The defensive lob is to get you out of a real problem. Remember, toss that ball up there real high and get back to the center of the court for the next shot.